type 2 diabetes is becoming a world pandemic. We know the consumption of eggs is related to the development of some other chronic diseases. What about diabetes? Researchers found a stepwise increase in risk the more and more eggs people ate. Eating just a single egg a week appeared to increase the odds of diabetes by 76%. 2 eggs a week appeared to double the odds, and just a single egg a day triple the odds. 3 times greater risk of type 2 diabetes, one of the leading causes of death and amputations, blindness, and kidney failure. This is not the first time a link between eggs and diabetes has been reported. In 2009, Harvard researchers found that a single egg a day or more was associated with an increased risk of type 2 diabetes in men and women, and that finding has since also been confirmed in other populations. Asia in 2011 and Europe in 2012. And the high consumption of eggs associated with diabetes risk was less than 1 a day. Though it appears you have to start early, once you get into your 70s, avoiding eggs may not help. Once we then have diabetes, eggs may hasten our death. Eating 1 egg a day or more appears to shorten anyone's lifespan, but may double the all-cause mortality for those with diabetes. Not good news for the egg industry. From a transcript of a closed meeting I found through the Freedom of Information Act, given the rate at which obesity and incidence of type 2 diabetes is growing in the U.S., any association between dietary cholesterol and type 2 diabetes could be a showstopper that could overshadow the positive attributes of eggs. In the past 2 years, 6 separate meta-analyses have been published on the relationship between fish consumption and type 2 diabetes. The whole point of a meta-analysis, though, is to compile together the best studies done to date and see what the overall balance of evidence shows. The fact that there are 6 different ones published recently highlights how open the question remains. One thread of consistency, though, was that fish consumers in the United States tend to be at greater risk for diabetes. If you include Europe too, then fish eaters appeared to have a 38% increased risk of diabetes. On a per-serving basis, that comes out to be about 5% increase in risk for every serving of fish one has per week. To put that into perspective, a serving of red meat is associated with a 19% increase in risk, but that's per day. Just 1 serving of fish a week is 5%, so a serving a day would be like a 35% increase in risk, worse than red meat. But why? Well, fish intake and omega-3 fats may increase type 2 diabetes risk by increasing blood sugar levels, as found in a review of the evidence commissioned by the U.S. government. An increase in blood sugars in diabetics given fish oil. Or maybe because the omega-3s cause oxidative stress. A recent study found that the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas don't appear to work as well in people who eat 2 or more servings of fish a week. Or it may be because of the environmental contaminants that build up in fish. It all started with Agent Orange. We sprayed 20 million gallons of this stuff on Vietnam, and some of it was contaminated with trace amounts of dioxins. Though the Red Cross there estimates 1 million Vietnamese were adversely affected, what about all the servicemen, the U.S. servicemen who were exposed, spraying it across the countryside? Reports started showing up that veterans exposed to Agent Orange appeared to have higher diabetes rates than unexposed veterans, a link that's now officially recognized. These so-called persistent organic pollutants are mainly man-made industrial chemicals, and among the most hazardous compounds ever synthesized. They include dioxins, PCBs, certain chlorine-containing pesticides, all of which are highly resistant to breaking down in the environment. Initially described for their deleterious effect on reproductive function and their ability to cause cancer, there is now a growing body of evidence showing that exposure to these pollutants leads to metabolic diseases such as diabetes. This is a breakthrough that should require our greatest attention.